Today was a great starting point, honestly, to really lay a great foundation for the future of our football program. And I think the thing that I'll tell you that I'm really proud of our staff of doing is we didn't compromise. And I think sometimes in recruiting, and obviously with recruiting days and all those kind of things like today, you can, new staff, new time frame, short time frame, sometimes you can get yourself in a situation where you compromise in recruiting. And we really didn't do that. And one of the nice things, obviously, is having a staff that's very familiar with each other, our staff that has come in together. But for me, it's always been a core philosophy in our recruiting process, and that's recruiting to three common denominators: great character young men that have a great passion for the game of football, and obviously young men that have and understand the value of an education. And I think if you really look at our history in the recruiting process, and certainly you look at this class, it's really what we laid our core beliefs going forward in this football program to who we want to be and what we want to become. And again, those three core values: great character young men, character on the football field. How do you play the game? Do you play the game the right way? Do you play the game that we evaluate being the right way? Character in your community, obviously representing this community, our football program, the right way. Passion for the game of football. I'm a young guy, and I'm going to be honest with you. For me, it's really simple to be honest with these guys in the recruiting process. Division I football is hard. It's not easy. We're going to ask a lot of them. This is going to be an attitude and effort-based football program. And we're really simple, and we're really upfront, and probably too upfront sometimes in the recruiting process. But selling that, because I want guys that love the game of football, and when things do get tough, they've got the ability to overcome adversity, because it always comes. And then the last piece, the academic piece, and I'll hit on some of the academic numbers of this class already coming in, and the understanding the value of an education, wanting to get an education, and the true student athlete, and that's something that's always been really important to us in our football program. So I think we did a great job hitting those core values in this recruiting class, and I'll be honest with you, what our staff did is really nothing short of incredible, really, in this class. And I'll throw some things out. 65 days we've had. It's our 65th day here at Iowa State. And we've only had 23 countable days that we actually could be on the road recruiting. And of those 23 days on the road recruiting, we only had half of our staff here. And to do what we were able to do, to hit the numbers we were able to hit, to get the young men that we were able to bring into our program, it's incredible. And really it goes to the attitude, the effort, the investment of our staff and what they were able to do. We were in 28 states in those 23 days. And I think one of the things that was probably more important than anything is 75% commitment rate of the young men that we brought on our campus. And again, I think that talks volumes about our community, the people of Ames, our student body. I think it's a really impressive place to sell. And I'm really proud of what we were able to do in terms of a commitment rate. For us, it was really simple. Our selling point was a vision, a new era of Iowa State football. Obviously, the opportunity at times to let them see our great fan base. I certainly thank Coach Prohm and our basketball team for theirs, allowing us to be accessible, some shoot-arounds, and being at some of the basketball games, and really our great fan base here, just our community, the academic and athletic community, really supporting us and the young men and their families as they came on our campus. And it's amazing. Recruiting still hasn't changed. I think sometimes we get this perception, but you win with people. And we've got a lot of great things to sell, but you still win with people. That hasn't changed no matter the level, no matter the how. That's how recruiting happens, is you win with people. And we got great people here, and I'm really proud of that. And, go over some fun facts. My first factor is, I hit on a little bit, is we want young men to come into our program as we start to build a culture here and start to win football games. You win with young men that understand how to win. And, one of the things that I've always looked for that's always been important to me is get young men that come from winning programs, that already understand what it takes, the sacrifice, the commitment. They've done it themselves of what it takes to win and be successful. And, here's just some fun facts on terms of winner and recruiting young men. We had 25 of our 30 commits were team captains, 33 all-state selections, 90 state playoff games, 13 players that played in state championship games, and 6 young men that ultimately won state championships. And of that group, we had 3 young men that were named All-American during their career. in high school. I also hit on this, I think, in my introductory press conference is, we want to be the Big 12 option in the Midwest. We want to be the Midwest Big 12 football team. And, of our signees, 15 of the 30 signees are young men that came from the Midwest. And I thought that was huge for us. It was huge to get into those areas, maybe some areas that haven't been hit in an area that we felt like we could get into. And it was great to be able to do that. And we want to continue to do that and continue to get better at that. But I thought, what a great starting point for us. We also were able to get 8 young men from the state of Iowa. One of those young men, obviously a scholarship player in Carson Lensing. 7 young men that will sign today as walk-ons that have already paid, and we're able to announce today, which is huge for us. And we're continue to be excited to start here at home and start our recruiting efforts there. And I think we've already got a great jump in that into 2017. I know I talked about academically, something that's a huge priority to myself and to our coaches. This staff and this recruiting class that comes in has a team GPA already of over a 3.12 GPA of our 30 scholarship signees, which is really impressive in my mind. And, we talk a little bit about that 75% hitting rate of commitments. And I think to me that goes to the people in this community. And I'll start out of one of the great selling points that I had as I brought parents and young people into this community is the interaction and the support between the academic community and the athletic community. And I think that starts obviously with President Leith. I think that starts with Jamie Pollard, and it starts with the belief and the vision that those two have. And I'm so grateful for that. And you start to sell facilities, and obviously kids like the wow factor. Well, you look at what Jamie's vision has been for facilities, and you talk about obviously Jack Trice Stadium, and you turn the lights on, and it's really special to sit on the 50-yard line and now look from end zone to end zone of what we've got to sell. You go into the Sioux Cup, and you get to see the new end zone facility and the wow factor that holds. And obviously you come over here to Bergstrom, and you see the weight room and the indoor and these new coaches' offices. And, it's great to be able to sell that piece. I think that's huge for us. And then, you talk about campus, and obviously what Dr. Lee's overall vision of what campus looks like and feels like, the safety, the cleanliness, our ability to go over to the Hickson Lead Center and student-athlete academic support, and what our academic community does for young student-athletes, not just football players, but all of our student-athletes here, from the time they come into school here to the time they leave. Our program is a wow factor, in my humble opinion, to Berkshire, and you get the chance to look out on the great lawn and go over to Howe Hall and just to see campus. It's a great place to go to school. It's an unbelievable environment, and it's a huge selling point for us and for our coaching staff, and it was phenomenal. And, I think the other part when you talk about people, and sometimes gets lost in this whole thing, and I really thank our players. Last night I had a dinner for our football team, and really our first chance for us to all get together, be together, but it was a thank you dinner for our players. And, I think when you sell new, especially in a situation like this, and you're selling a new vision, it's not our vision, it is our vision, but these players, they're the hosts, they're the people that really get to spend quality amount of time with these young people that come in. And I think that's such a huge indication to me of the character of our football team. And as we continue to unravel that and really get to see that up close, I'm really grateful to our own football players within this football team that really help recruit these young men to be a part of our football team. And I'm extremely grateful. Obviously, our coaches, I think we have one of the best recruiting staffs in the country. They're young, they're hungry. They do a great job of developing relationships, and I think that got to be seen today with maybe the end result of what this recruiting class looks like. And I'd be remiss not to thank their wives, and I'm going to just thank them really quick publicly. Sally Manning, Kathy Hoffer, Jess Verzi, Brian Gasser's fiance, Alexis Golish, Tresha Haycock, Caprice Rashid, Mandy Veit, Kayla McDonald. Really grateful for that, for our coaching staff, their wives. Andrea Yulenop and Kelsey Johnson, Mitch Moore's fiance. A lot of our wives are involved in our recruiting weekends. Our families are involved in our recruiting weekends. Our wives flew in from Toledo 3 times, and it was huge. And it just, they're not all settled here yet, and really for them to give up their weekends, and obviously not being home and not being around right now, they're making great sacrifices. So I'm certainly grateful to them and their time. And then finally, just some special thank yous. Obviously, our recruiting coordinator, Alex Golish, Obviously Alex having a really good landscape of the Midwest as we've come in, and really being able to take what we knew and what we were able to do with kind of a bigger version, and Alex coming in, I think really did a great job. And, John Kuzieski, our off-the-field recruiting coordinator at the University of Toledo, and, those two coming together and really laying a great roadmap for us. I think between myself and those two, it was great to sit down, really have a vision before we even landed here. I'll be honest with you, in Ames, we were hitting it recruiting late Saturday night before I really even came here on Sunday. So those two worked really hard to kind of begin that roadmap, and without that roadmap, we wouldn't be where we're at today. Greg Bradmanick, our director of football operations, and Nick Uhlenhop, who kind of stayed on board. Those guys really did a great job, and I appreciate them. Mitch Moore, who we retained on staff. Mitch kind of moved over to a true recruiting position, and obviously his ties in state and having some understanding of what had happened here prior to was certainly huge for us, and moving forward, and really grateful for him. And then Doug Phillips and Mark Thurston, who joined our recruiting team, just a couple weeks ago, obviously hit the ground running with us as well. So I'm extremely grateful for them. Our associate athletic director, David Harris. David Harris has been instrumental in all of our recruiting weekends. Had the opportunity to speak to the group multiple times. Was phenomenal to us, and I couldn't say more great things about David and what he did. And then obviously Jamie Pollard and really all of our athletic administration team. They've been phenomenal to get our staff hired, to be able to have a staff in place, and to be able to hit the ground running. We wouldn't be here without what they have done for us. So I'm really grateful. Some final quick thank yous. Our football secretary, Erica Ganese, Patrice Fulner, our athletic academic support. Her team is really incredible, a great selling point for us in our university. Our edits guy, maybe the best in the country, so Taylor Wilhelm, who is maybe our most important hire. So all those cool edits and graphics that we set out there, Taylor's the guy that's come in and done a great job of that. And Rudy Wade, our strength staff, has done a great job selling our program. Mike Model and Alex Ernst in our video department. Carl Rickleft and Chris Jorgensen from facilities. And then we've got a great group of student interns who probably knew maybe a little bit more about campus than we did, who were tremendous to us. And then last but not least, Mike Green. Mike does such a great job promoting our program, and obviously has been a huge help to us as we've started this recruiting process. So I just wanted to kind of give you some in-depth look at us, how we got here, what we're about right now, and obviously would certainly love to answer any questions maybe you guys have for me about the recruiting class.
Yeah.